easy to pick on them. The Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane's kind of defensive and is taking shots and it's come. And I'm looking at The Athletic the other day because I thought they had a really good draft, Buffalo, again, and I looked at their offensive roster and I'm like, it's kind of great. And The Athletic had them as the third best overall roster, even above Philadelphia. Now, some of that is because part of the roster is quarterback, and quarterback is a bigger part of a roster than any other position. But now I look at Buffalo and I think they're actually undervalued. We've picked on them for so long. The most undervalued team in the league is the Buffalo Bills. Am I nuts?
Yeah. No, I don't think you're nuts. I also think, this is, what is it, middle of May? Pretty annual tradition. The Bills are the team to beat, America. Look at how much talent. And then when they end up falling short, it's, well, I mean, how's Josh Allen supposed to win with that type of talent? I mean, we can set our clock to it, right? It's in the offseason, the Bills and Ravens, they're juggernauts. They have all of this unbelievable skill everywhere. And then come January, it's like, you know what? Turns out I didn't love that roster as much as I once did. Now,
you know what's genuinely ironic? We keep talking about the Chiefs as this unstoppable force, this absolute powerhouse, this legendary team that should obviously be favored to win every matchup, every Super Bowl. According to the narrative, the season doesn't truly start until the AFC Championship game. But then, when they fall short, suddenly it's, what more could you possibly expect him to do? It's the offensive line's fault, the receiver's fault, this or that. And when he does win, the story flips to, look what Patrick Mahomes has accomplished. He won with absolutely nobody around him. Oh, it's miraculous what he managed to do. My God. I recall very clearly back in 2023, Nick going on and on about how elite that defense was. How Pacheco runs like a man on fire. How Rashee Rice is basically Rashee Jerry Rice. Then, when he wins a Super Bowl, it's framed as the single most impressive achievement in NFL history. No quarterback has ever won with so little. And I'm sitting here thinking, what are you even talking about? You spent endless time praising how elite the defense is, how great the weapons are, how Travis Kelce still shows up and remains the greatest playoff performer ever. But when they win, it's all Mahomes. Only Mahomes. Exclusively Mahomes. Kind of strange, isn't it? Strange. Strange, right? Strange how we always want to exaggerate one thing and minimize another. You want to play down the rushing support Matthew Stafford had, which was legitimately better than what the Buffalo Bills had. But simply because the Bills' ground production came from one running back while the Rams used multiple backs, we just choose to overlook that. We choose to ignore that kind of subtlety, or the fact that the Rams consistently used their running game to set up their offense week after week, whereas Cook mostly feasted in games that were total blowouts rather than in genuine must-have moments. Strange, isn't it? How we constantly discard nuance whenever it comes to the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, odd, right? Very odd. I definitely think so. Also, in 2024, people doubted the Bills. So I don't know what you're referring to. People said it would be a down year. They were in a tough salary cap situation. They couldn't realistically build a great roster. Then they made it to the AFC Championship game, and a player they had to acquire mid-season, Amari Cooper, messed up the game. Then the same thing this past year, or last year in 2025, Josh Allen on a potential game-winning drive, throwing to receivers he has a total of maybe 10 career targets with. So yeah, maybe that situation deserves the benefit of the doubt. Don't you think? Don't you think? Because I remember a lot of people crying about DeAndre Hopkins. What did you want him to do? DeAndre Hopkins isn't what he used to be, and he arrived mid-season. What exactly do you expect from him? Strange, right? Strange. It's like, yeah, the Buffalo Bills absolutely deserve all that belief and praise. They've earned it. Josh Allen has earned it. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL and one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. He literally averages more total yards per game than Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. So we can stop with the nonsense. We can stop with the trolling. It's ridiculous. Imagine downplaying Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It's so comically absurd at this point. He had 4 turnovers in the divisional round. And people go, oh my gosh, how many times are we going to keep repeating this garbage? It's so bizarre. And you know what new thing I've encountered lately? It's really weird. Really, really weird. I'm seeing lots of people with Buffalo Bills usernames and Bills profile pictures saying things like, Josh is bad. He's overrated. He's not a good quarterback. I'm a Bills fan. And I'm thinking, really? Are you? I doubt it. So I go back and read all their comments, and it's just nonstop negativity about how bad the Bills are, how bad Josh Allen is. Yet their username is superduper number 1 Bills fan 1784365. And I'm like, I don't know, man. That seems a little off. Not entirely sure that username accurately represents who you truly are. But anyway, I continue to be really excited and optimistic. How could I not be excited and optimistic about a team that has been consistently competitive and a Super Bowl contender year after year after year, led by the best quarterback in the NFL? Imagine not thinking positive. LY or optimistically about that team. And they have a new defensive coordinator whom I'm really excited about. I'm excited about Jim Leonhard. I look forward to seeing what he does because he's also put in his work. I don't want to say resume, but as a coach, he's been through it. He's gone through the development. He didn't just randomly rise to the top. He's had years, like 10 or so years, doing a bit of this, a bit of that, passing game coordinator, defensive coordinator, DB coach, all kinds of different roles, assistant head coach, working with the Broncos, who've had an elite defense for years now. So he's been through the track, that's the better way to put it. If we list it, defensive backs coach, defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach, interim head coach, senior football analyst, defensive backs coach and pass game coordinator, assistant head coach and pass game coordinator, and now defensive coordinator. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. But it is funny because, again, we're supposedly not allowed to feel optimism about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, yet we're supposed to feel that Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback who for the last 3 straight years has been in decline, that's just a fact, just been going down, but then they'll say, yeah, but he won a Super Bowl, or he won Super Bowls in the past. And it's like, well, that's a team accomplishment. It's funny because in the same discussion I was talking to someone about Jalen Hurts, and I said Jalen Hurts went to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl, and they replied, well, that's a team accomplishment. Exactly, it's a team accomplishment. But when Patrick Mahomes does it, suddenly it's an individual accomplishment. You can't pick and choose when to apply those metrics. So again, it's a team failure when they don't win. But it's just so funny because reliably, I get the same Kansas City fan trolls saying, Allen only got 7 yards on the final drive against the Chiefs. And I've explained so many times how everything actually unfolded. Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times, and yet people refuse to ever add any context. Which is also hilarious because people will talk about, oh, last season, for whatever reason, cherry picking became very popular. It was everywhere. Cherry picking. Like, did you guys just learn this word? Did cherry picking somehow enter pop culture without me knowing? Because it was just everywhere. And it's so hilarious because they want to cherry-pick moments, but then also not always talk about how all stats are misleading or how cherry-picking highlights is wrong. But then you don't want to break down the actual sequence of events that led to losses for the Bills. It's really funny that you want to single out tiny, very specific individual moments but refuse to address anything else or add any other context. That's so hilarious to me. And there's a kind of rule of thumb, if you're the one saying, oh, Josh Allen choked or oh, you're cherry-picking, there's a good chance that you're actually the one cherry-picking. If you're calling someone else biased, there's a good chance you're probably biased. If you're super-duper Bills fan 1789x432, there's a good chance you're probably not a super-duper Bills fan and you're just trying to troll. But I've seen an increase in that lately. It's quite bizarre and quite hilarious again at this point in May to try to dunk on the Buffalo Bills right now. And on Josh Allen, and to play the game of what did you want Josh Allen to do? He had no talent. I mean, maybe because we consistently see him needing to be Superman. Maybe because we consistently see him needing to lead his team in rushing during playoff runs. Maybe we see him consistently needing to have a massive impact no matter who is on his roster. Maybe that's why, just like how you said last year that the Chiefs would be the best team and would get to the Super Bowl, blah blah blah, and then we had a little revisionist history and said, well, Patrick Mahomes was about to lead the Chiefs to beat the Chargers, and then they'd play the Titans, and they would make the playoffs. And it's like, really? Is that what happened? Because I'm pretty sure Patrick Mahomes threw a devastating interception before he hurt his knee. I'm not so sure Patrick Mahomes was guaranteed to lead the Chiefs to the promised land again. I love how we want to have it that he got injured, and that's why last year was a mess. And Rice's suspension. And it's like, oh, okay. What did you want him to do against the Houston Texans? Look how many dropped passes. Oh, now we want to count dropped passes. We don't want to count any dropped passes from Diggs or Kincaid or anyone else. No, we don't want to talk about that at all. Okay, I get it. I understand. Nothing was funnier than on that final play for Josh Allen. He makes an absolutely unbelievable throw against an unbelievable blitz from Spags, and Nick came out and said, I believe Patrick would have found a better way. He actually said that, and I just remember thinking that was hilarious, absurd, and made no sense. And then Patrick Mahomes got about 15 chances to show what he would have done better against the Philadelphia Eagles, and he failed every single time. It's not like he succeeded a couple of times and then you say, oh dude, there's just too much pressure, what do you want him to do? No, he failed every single time he was presented with the opportunity to show he could do better in that situation. He did worse. He did 100% worse. But we don't want to talk about that. We just want to talk about the offensive line, and receivers dropping passes, and Josh Allen choking, and how he can never win the big game because he's just not good enough. We can't ruffle the Mahomes feathers. We can't ruffle that. You just can't. It's okay. Taylor Swift, it's okay. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Buffalo Bills flying under the radar? The fact that we think it makes sense to mock one of the most consistent teams in the NFL for the last, 5+ years or so, led by the best quarterback in the league. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some debates, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to belong to. I think we're well on our way to doing that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.